Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome to the Manor Lords demo. A demo of an early access of an indie game. What a time in the gaming industry, says the developer, and yeah, you can see where he's coming from, can't you? But I gotta say, this is a very promising little piece of demo content that we've been given here. Manor Lords has been on, well, everyone's lips ever since it was officially announced as a very ambitious project made by a single solitary developer. And the demo does not disappoint, though it has a lot of limitations. I had made an entire goddamn city, and I was just about to start recording, so I was like, okay, here I am at a point where I can show all of the mechanics, I can show this whole city, and it'll be amazing, and then the game crashes, and there's no save game feature, so screw me most ferociously. So let us instead just have a simple look at the game, shall we, and we'll kind of try to explain as we go. At the moment, in the demo, the Rise to Prosperity is the only game mode available, which is basically a good old-fashioned sandbox. We'll pick the fat guy because, of course, black, background white, obviously, and this looks suitably archy, so let's go with that. We're gonna give ourselves a nice amount of starting resources, just to kick it into gear a little bit, and off we go. Once again, by the way, excuse the voice, I am still fighting off the after effects of the Chinese blessings, and I hope I don't get a second round of that shit again soon, I'll tell you that much. Right, so this, then, is Manor Lords. The zoom is a bit touchy. So, you start with some briefings and some objectives. Construct a granary, a logging camp, a hunting camp, a storehouse. And this is your standard issue tutorial. We gotta look at the map here. You can't really do much with it. I haven't been able to purchase territory yet, even with enough point score, so I'm not sure if you even can. But clearly the idea is that you'll start with one territory, and then you'll slowly but surely expand into other territories, claiming them with the various different resources within them. Now, I think I might actually have to restart this one, because I've got no berries in my starting territory, which I think means I just kinda starve to death immediately, unless I could somehow get up farming, but for the sake of convenience, let's get some berries. Alright, that's some berries, at least. That should keep me going through the early game. The game loads remarkably fast, by the way, considering the graphical fidelity, which is nothing short of impressive. This genuinely kind of feels like Kingdom Come Deliverance, this strategy game, which is pretty damn hefty. We've got our little dudes over here. We've got a oxen, which will be pretty damn crucial to everything early game, and we've got our little civilians too. And again, that is some hefty graphical fidelity right there in a city builder. Bearing in mind, you can get quite a lot of these little bastards just playing within a single area. I had a city with a population nearing the 200s before it crashed, so Right, so you can see there's a couple of resources on the map here. We've got wild animals, we've got some iron deposits way up in the hills here. That'll be a pain to get to, but I'm sure we'll get to it. And we've got some berries. The berries are very important early on, since getting food is not necessarily that simple. Unsurprisingly, getting food was pretty much a full-time job in the medieval days. So we start with 16 timber. The timber is very important because that's how we actually build anything. So before we do anything else, let me start by setting up a logging camp. Let's see, this... So where would I... Okay, so I think I'm going to have my primary little village area probably be around this area here. So we'll have logging probably over in this direction, I'm thinking. Right, we'll make a logging camp there. We're also going to need a foraging hut. Let's make a little bit more of a road up there. Like so. And we'll make the foraging hut. We also will need some storage yards. So we'll want a storehouse. We'll put that near that. And if this will be our general housing area, we'll probably want the granary around about here too. Alright, let's also see if we can't put up a well. You can see the map overlay here shows underground water. This is a pretty convenient spot for it, so we'll put the well there, no issues. And we'll want to set up a farm fairly early because I'm not going to be swimming in food here by any stretch of the imagination. But let's get this set up first. We've got the granary, we've got the foraging hut, we've got the storehouse, and we've got the logging camp on the way. Right. Now then, my little boys, will start prioritizing stuff. We'll put the logging camp at 4. Then we'll have the foraging hut at 3. Then granary at 2. And then we'll do the storehouse at last. There we go. A nice and simple priority system. So you can see the peasant will go over here and we'll get the oxen. You will need oxen to do anything early on. Transporting logs can only be done via oxen. You have no superpowered babushkas here that can simply throw a log onto their shoulders and wander off, tragically enough. Meaning that each and every log needs to be picked up and then moved all the way to the destination before the rest of the little peasants can actually wander on over and start building something. You're obviously also going to need to build shelter for the resources. You've got some firewood here, and you've got some bread and some tools. If you just leave them out, they'll eventually be destroyed by environmental effects. Let's speed things up a little bit. And as it delivers the first part of the resources, the peasants will start wandering over. And this is when one of the coolest parts of the game begins. So once they actually start setting stuff up, the house doesn't simply just rise from the ground or anything. No, they actually build them piece by piece. Like, that is so goddamn neat. I love the hell out of it. Now, the logging camp is a simple pre-made structure. So no matter how many logging camps you'll make, all of the logging camps will look like the same logging camp. Whereas if you do this with houses, they will actually create semi-dynamic houses, dependent upon the environment, depending upon how much space there is, and they'll put in various pieces of decorations, like a little outhouse, for example, in the yard. And when you eventually upgrade the houses with various things like vegetable gardens, that too will actually change the model, which is really, really goddamn cool. They're about to finish up the logging camp here. And there we are. Okay. So we've got the logging camp set up. So now we gotta assign people to it. We can also set enable idle laborers. So if we've got excess work, they'll go over there and add it to the logging camp. We're gonna add 2 workers to that because timber is basically your single most important resource early on. But here's the thing again. Since all timber needs to be moved by the oxen, even if I built like 4 logging camps, it wouldn't matter. Because even if I chop down a tree, if I can't move the tree to the logging camp, I can't actually use the timber. Now, you can get more oxen, obviously, but that requires you to engage with the trade system. So you actually got to get silver to get additional oxens. Now, getting that silver is not necessarily all that simple, because again, the simple English, Jesus. The silver is gated by the timber, and you need so much timber early on. Not just for stuff like the foraging hut, which will be valuable for food, obviously, but for the granary, for the storehouses, for all of the little regular houses and everything else. Now, right now, we are about, actually, to free up the oxen, so let's put down some houses as well. Let's see here. There we go. The burger plot. The tutorial is going to replay here. Right, so if we're thinking about this being our kind of central area, I think we're going to expand. I'm going to expand in this direction here. So we'll just draw that out a little bit further, like so. Right, there we go. 3. Let's make them a little bit longer. I'm looking for that. You see that little icon there? That little, fleur de lis, or more like a cross kind of thing. That shows that it'll have enough space for an extension. So, there we go. That'll put down 3 burger plots, which is for your regular citizens. So, speed things up again as everybody builds. I love the building so much. Like, this is so cool. I imagine later on in the game as well, when you've got really big building projects, like when you're building an actual castle, you'll have winches and cranes and stuff building. Maybe you can even build trebuchets and siege equipment in the warfare mode. That would be so awesome as well. Right, now we are to build a well and 5 burger plots. Well, we already built the well. Or we put it down anyway, so it hasn't been constructed yet, but it's under construction. And the burger plots. There we go, and then we'll start building the houses. And now you'll see a bit of that dynamicness in play. So these are 3 relatively identical plots. I'm not expecting ridiculous differences here, but God, I love watching them build. Like, that is so neat. They even add on the little details on top, you know. Then they add on, like, little outhouse there. Got a little shed there, probably for storing or drying goods, etc. It is such an awesome system. And they build a slightly different house over there. You know, the windows are slightly different. The roof is a little bit different. Little bit of extra different details, like they've added in a little foundation or a well or something style there. And when you click on them, you can also see the various things that they require. So obviously, they're gonna need food, duh. And preferably, they'll want 2 different types of food. They'll also want 2 different types of clothing. They'll also want access to entertainment and faith. And once you can give them access to this, you can then upgrade the house to a level 2 house, which will give you, well, better workers and eventually also better fighters. There is no competing AI at the moment, of course, so there's no combat at the moment. Nor do I believe you can unlock any of these areas, as far as I've been able to tell so far. I have been able to get enough resources, but I haven't been able to unlock them, so I'm guessing that's not a part of the demo. There is also a development tree, as you can see here, where I'm presuming you can unlock stuff like tools for gathering, for more effective sewing, for more effective wood crafting, or maybe you can even unlock different resources like marble that has to be hauled by a team of oxen, for example. I'm speculating. Alright, so we're going to hire 1 person to work at the storehouse and 1 person to work at the granary so that they can start getting the various supplies under cover. We've got 5 timber to spare, and we still need to be making more burger plots. We've got 1 unassigned family at the moment. Let's see. Did I make the foraging hut? Yes, I did. Let's assign 1 person there. And you've not been logging properly, you lazy little bastards. Let's see. You can also see where people are. So he's off to fell a tree. Okay, good. But since the oxen isn't out, and I'm presuming they're either prioritizing something else or I don't have enough people, so let's, for the time being then, just continue building houses. Give them a little bit of space so we can put down a road. And 2 more houses, like so. I'm also going to spend 1 piece of tools to put down a vegetable garden. I'm going to need another set of tools to make some farming stuff later on, but I can spare 1 for the vegetable garden there. Now, if you upgrade the houses, you can see that there's a guy that goes over. That means that the families that live in this plot will now use some of their time to tend to the plots. You can also upgrade them to have goats and chickens. So this costs silver, and also produce eggs and or milk depending upon season. So vegetables cannot be grown during winter, but the chickens of course will create eggs all year long, just like the goat will create milk constantly throughout the year as well. These additional resources are quite expensive. 25 silver is quite a lot, actually, particularly early on, as it takes a while before you can really start earning anything, but you'll get that eventually. And as you see, as I unlock new burger plots, and I get more citizens, you also see that I will get more unassigned families, because you're not assigning workers. I've got 13 people. I've got 9 dudes in my village, but I've only got 5 assigned families. How does that work? Well, it's because I've only got 5 houses, so I can only actually assign 5 families. And as I build more houses, I will be able to assign more people more work. So you've got to grow your village to get more jobs to be assigned to more people. Let's see, we've got 6 more timber. Alright. At this stage, I really just need more workers, don't I? Because I've got foraging hut. I need a hunter set up fairly soon. We've got 2 populations of 40 wild animals, which is really, really good. I'll probably want to just get another 3 there. I'm just going to spend the rest of it. There you go. Now, sadly, one bit of a complaint I have is that you can't pre-plan buildings. So if I were to figure out where the hunter was, there we go, the hunting camp, if I don't have enough wood, I can't actually put down the hunting camp. I think it's just, is it just 1? It might be just 1. Let's build it up here. That's nice and close. And we'll drag a road up there as well. There we go. But if I was to try and make a house, that'll be a better one, because I've only got 1 log. So if I try to build a house here, you will see not enough resources, so I can't actually build it yet. That's a little unfortunate. Like, I would love to be able to plan out things, to be like, okay, as you get resources, just kind of, keep building that. That would be nice. But, yeah, it's not the biggest deal in the universe. Alright. This also creates really cool-looking and varied-looking villages, where you can actually go into visitor mode here, and see yourself in the game world and walk around the village, which is really cool. Like, this doesn't really do anything, obviously. You can't wave to the populace and go like, hello, filthy, dirty peasant people, work harder for me, or anything like that. But just being able to go around, look around, look at the villages is really neat. I'd love to have a proper first-person mode too, though, instead of just a third-person one. And I hope you can use this on the battlefield too, so that you can actually, accompany your armies on the field. That would be really, really cool. Alright, we've got 1 more unassigned family. We'll just continue speeding things up a little bit here. And we'll probably play through the first year at least. Now, I am also going to need some firewood eventually, but it's not a pressing concern just yet. That creates the hunting camp. Cool. We'll assign 2 people to that. You can also assign the hunting limit to make sure that you don't run out, because I'm presuming if you kill all the animals, you've killed all the animals. Duh. But with the hunting limit at 20, they'll only go out and they'll hunt until there's 20 wild animals left, and they'll go over there, hunt until there are 20 wild animals left, and they'll just kind of keep the population at that rough level, which is a really cool little mechanic as well. The berries will regrow during certain seasons, you can see here. Spring, frequent raining, berry deposits regrow, plowing for quicker summer harvest, and summer, crop harvest starts in late summer. Now, it's already June, July, so I'm not going to be able to do much in the way of harvesting this year, but I can prepare for it, of course. Right, we've got 7 wood. We need to start setting up a market area. I'm thinking... Where would we want a market area? I'm thinking we'll have a little bit of a branch off here, I think. Let's get to the the road construction tool there. There we go. And we'll put a market here, I think. There we go. That should be plenty large enough. Then we'll add in some stalls. And a firewood stall and a clothing store. Might as well build that. I'm not going to need it just yet, but might as well get it for now. That leaves us with 4 more wood over. Right. What do we need for that? I should be heading into mining, actually. So I'm going to need another 3 people for getting a mining operation up. So we're going to wait until we get 2 more timber. And then we're going to build another 3 little huts. Now, this is also one of the big bottlenecks, as you can see right now. The ox cart is required to actually carry supplies over to the stalls, which means that it's not actually currently going out into the forest and fetching more logs. So right now, I am eating up my log reserves without actually being able to replenish my log reserves. Meanwhile, once it's done actually dragging out all of the building supplies, it'll head out into the forest again and start picking up the timber that my peasants have cut down previously, and are continuously cutting down as well. So 7 and 8, lovely. So I'm going to need another 3, so let's see here, go back to the houses. That's not houses, that's houses. Alright. Let's see. That's not what I want. I wanted you to do it this way? This way. There you go. The construction direction system is a little bit derpy, but I suspect once you get more used to it, it won't be too bad. You don't need every house to have an additional plot. Like, it's nice, but it's not necessarily an absolute requirement, but hey, it doesn't cost anything extra, so might as well, particularly now in the early game. There we go. That should give me another 3 workers. Okay. So what's the cost for my little industry here? So the blueberry is going to cost me 2 more. The smithy is going to cost me 2 more. And the actual mine is going to cost me 1 more. Okay. So let's make sure we don't interfere too much with the wildlife there. There we are. And then we need the road. There. And we'll queue up the other 2 buildings we're going to be needing as well. The bloomery. Oh, don't have enough resources. Well, fine. We'll wait until we get enough resources then. So some other things that I like to see here. There needs to be more information available, because right now I can hover over things and I can see that I've got 39 meat, I've got 63 berries, and I've got 18 bread. Cool. But how much am I gaining from all of this? How much meat am I gaining? How much berries am I gaining? How much bread am I gaining? How much am I losing? How much are my people eating? That is not really information you have easy access to at the moment. Maybe that'll be something that is unlocked, because I kind of imagine, because you've got a manor house, you can build a administration and military buildings here. Excuse me. Gonna clear my nose there for a moment. My apologies. You can build a Bailey wall. So you build a little fortified compound. Inside of that compound, you build your manor house, you build your tax collector, you build presumably military upgrades, maybe like armories, etc. in the future. But maybe there will be an administrative building in there that is like the accountant guy. You know, the guy who goes around and says, like, okay, to this year, so-and-so many people were born, so-and-so many people died, this is the reasons they died, we had so-and-so much firewood, we used so-and-so much firewood, etc. That would make a great deal of sense, that you would actually have to have an administrative person to give you that information. But I definitely would like to actually have it, even if I've got to build something to use it. Now, you can also see total goods stored here and surplus good. So you can see exactly what you've got, and you can see, like, what you have to use. So I've got 4 timber, but I've only actually got 1 timber that isn't spoken for, that isn't already being used in some other system. This is nice, but, you know, I still need a more proper overlay system. Alright, we've used up all the berries, so I can unassign the 2 people there. That's good. Can assign another worker to some lumber duties. I've got 3, I've got 4. Lovely. That should give me enough to get the Blue Marie. If I can remember where the hell it is. Industry, alright. Blue Marie. Now, where's the road? It's a pinch hard to... Okay, there's the road. All right. So, there, and the smithy as well. That uses up all my wood again. A little bit further away from the village than I would necessarily prefer, but good enough. Good enough for government work, as they say. You can also see that we are in autumn right now, September to November, and very soon we will be in winter. Now, this means that I'm also going to need a couple other things. In fact, I might have jumped the gun a little bit on this, because I'm also going to need a woodcutter lodge. But that's only 1 timber, so that shouldn't actually be that big of an issue. Right, let's see, where would we like to put that? Our storage building is right there, so I think we're just gonna put it right there, and we're gonna put that at a higher priority than the other ones, because I'm gonna need that firewood. Otherwise, I'm gonna have a lot less dudes during winter. Mein Schnozen is very, very full of dirty and filthy, horrible things. There we go. I'll start building that. I tell you, the COVID itself is no party, but I'm having considerably more hatred for the after effects right now. Rightio. And we'll assign 2 people to that. And we're also going to assign 1 person to the food stall and 1 person to the firewood stall, so as to make sure that these are actually stocked up, so that my villagers don't have to go all the way to whatever is producing the food to actually get it. Have I been able to produce any vegetables, by the way? No, I'm not sure I'll be able to get a harvest out of this. Maybe, maybe not. Vegetables are really, really good, though. It is a great continuous source of food for later on that you don't really need to micromanage because, well, your dudes take care of micromanaging it for themselves. Okay, right, let's talk about that too. So, I've had some issues with the game, which is partially due to information. I've struggled, for example, keeping up with the firewood production, because even with 3 people assigned, it feels like they don't really build up enough of a store. Like, they'll go off and they'll get some wood, and then they'll deliver it, and then somebody else will go fetch it, and it's really difficult to see, like, okay, how much am I producing here? Like, am I producing enough? Am I producing too much? Am I producing too little? And it can feel like your AI dudes kind of just stop doing their jobs occasionally. I had a point where my logging camp just ceased production for a while. I was looking at the people, and it just said, like, doing task TBA 1234, or procrastinating, or going home, or everything. And I kept waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and they never got back to doing their jobs, until eventually I relocated the building, and that seems to have fixed it. So, there are some bugs here and there, but, well, early access game, what can you suspect? Honestly, everything considered, I mean, the game is... Bearing in mind, this is made by one person, this is remarkable. It genuinely is. I would like to see a bit more in the way of woodcutting animations, because they pretty much just kind of hit the tree, and then the tree disappear in a poof of dust, basically. And then the cow goes and fetches it. The various wheelbarrows also... Oh, there we go. Yep, I was about to say. Some of the wheelbarrows have some interesting animations. Only the ones used by women for some reason. There you go. Look at that. That looks, not quite accurate. Like, I've seen a wheelbarrow before, and I don't think it moves like that. It is mildly adorable, though. Now, hand carts as well. So, normally, a dude can only carry one stack of something. So, for example, they can only carry one stack of wood, or one stack of berries, or one stack of meat, etc. However, if they've got a cart, which is unlocked, I think it's the granary and the storehouse unlocks carts. I believe. Because at the very least, you can upgrade the granary, and it's, as you can see here, provides one extra handcart. Because the handcart can pick up 10 loads of something. Oh, that's actually the, there's the axle there in the middle, too. That is adorable. And obviously, when you're transporting large amounts of stuff, you want to be transporting them by the bucket load. Now, right now, it's not that bad, because I'm normally producing meat, so I've got, like, 4 meat there. I've got, like, a little bit of bread, a little bit of berries being produced, but nothing huge quantities. But when you start doing farming, you're going to produce, like, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 of something. And then moving it one by one is gonna be a problem. Fortunately, the oxens too can be used to carry harvest as well. All right, so I don't think I don't have anybody assigned here, so I'm gonna need another. I'm gonna need another 4 houses, aren't I? I'm gonna need 5 actually, long term, which I can just about afford as well. Okay, let's start with some more houses. I'm a little bit worried about my my food and fuel supply, but honestly, I just need dudes, so I'm just gonna build houses for more dudes. This wouldn't be a bad spot. Do I want to advance more over here, maybe? Actually, no, definitely not. That's great fertility. We definitely don't want to build houses there. That would be shooting myself in the foot quite badly. Let's instead see... Yeah, let's not do it like that. Let's see. No. No. Other way around. Yes, there you go. I wouldn't mind this system being a little bit less weird, but yeah, it works. So, there we go, that's 3 more houses set up. I'd love it if I had 1 more timber. Can I get 1 more timber? No? Alright, well, we'll start handing it out first, that's fine. So I can actually set up the iron. Once I've got that set up, I can actually start getting lots of tools. Once I can start getting lots of tools, I can start getting lots of carrots. And that, honestly, will deal with my food requirements for the early to mid-game, so that I can focus instead on getting trading up and running. So I can finally get some silver, so I can finally get some more oxen. We're already up to 35 people. Not too bad, not too bad, not too shabby. How are we doing on the wildlife, by the way? 25, 31. Yeah, we should have plenty meat to last us through the winter. Not too worried about that. If anything, it's firewood, again, that I'm worried about. So we've only got about 2 months worth of fuel. Alright, we've got 3, so I'm going to have 1 assigned to the mining pit. I'm going to assign 1 to the bloomery, and 1 to the smithy, like that. Alright, let's gather up a little bit more wood. 10, let's get 12 more wood, because then we can make another bunch of houses. And it's starting to snow. As it gets cold, your people will start getting a little bit pissy. As you can see, there is an approval rating here. Food variety in the marketplace give me +3 right now. That's going to go away awfully soon, because I'm only going to be able to provide meat through the winter, probably. Alright, is there anything here I'd want? Flax, barley, rye? No, okay, so I can definitely build here then. Alright, let's build like this time. No, like this. Right, how many houses can I squeeze in there? 2. Alright, 2 houses there. I can probably squeeze in 3 here, probably. No. Oh, lots of houses, actually. On the one hand, this is a genuinely very intuitive system. On the other hand, it's also kind of annoying. Alright, and... there. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And, like, again, now that we've actually finally gotten something built, it does look really nice and organic, doesn't it? Like, I'm the kind of person who just builds squares. I just build goddamn squares. And I'm never really happy with how any of my villages look, because I build for efficiency rather than aesthetics. And I've always kind of envied people who can build for aesthetics, because it looks so cool, and I just can't do it. So, for me, this is so nice, because look at this when you zoom out. Like, this looks like a village, doesn't it? Like, it really does. This looks like literally like a Deliverance, a Kingdom Deliverance Lost kind of village. You've got a little bit of a woodcutter outside, you know, they're getting some firewood there, they're chopping it. As you get in there, you've got a storehouse, you got a little hand cart, you got little houses themselves tucked away, you got outhouses, you know, people have, set up their own little piece of storage here to keep the snow off it, etc. You know, you've got little vegetable gardens here. God, it's so neat, isn't it? Like, I can't help but gush over this. Little woman carrying some firewood home. And the mud, too. Damn, the mud looks good. The mud looks really good, too. Is there anything inside the houses? Oh, that's tragic. That is absolutely tragic. I'd love for there to be things inside the houses, too. Just one more level of awesome, you know? They've got the little fences. They've even got different types of fences. Oh, God. And this is... See, part of me is playing this, and I'm just like, hurry up. Hurry up, Slavic Magic. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Make this game finished. I want to play the full game, goddammit. But at the same time, man, this is going to take a while to finish, isn't it? This is really going to take a while. Because right now, there isn't even that much in the game. I mean, the most complex production chain right now is the one for bread, where you need to set up a field, which you need to draw out. So in this case, if I need emmer, right, which is the basic cereal, okay. So you draw out the field like this, cool. And then you need to build a farm, which is where the actual farm hands will go. Without that, they won't sow, they won't harvest, etc. Okay. Then you'll need the windmill, and then finally you'll need the communal oven. So you've got a 3-step process with 4 buildings, including the field. That's not very complex at all. You've also got like flax, so you can build flax. Then you've got a weaver's hut to make clothing. And you've got beer, which requires barley, which requires a malt house. Let's see if I can find that one here. Yep, the malt house, which then needs a brewery, which finally is then delivered to the tavern so people can drink ale. You know, nothing too complicated yet. But once you expand upon this system and you add in larger buildings, you might even not need any more. Like, okay, you've got your farmhouse, right? Maybe there's a farmhouse 2.0, which requires stone, for example. Or maybe there's a farmhouse 3.0, which requires stone and like shaped wood. So you actually need to have a sawmill instead of just delivering straight up timber, for example. And that's huge. And it's got actually like rooms for oxen dedicated to that. And the oxen will help plow the fields. So they'll plow the fields much faster. And they'll also help gather up the grain. Maybe you'll have a oven 2.0 with like 2 ovens or 3 ovens. Maybe as you are developing these two, you'll also need special people. Like maybe you'll actually need a chef or a baker, etc. There's a tremendous amount of complexity that you can add into this game, and that I definitely do think that he will need to add on into this game. Because one of my worries is that right now, as you can see, the map, it's not small by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not massive either. Like, imagine if there was a separate AI over here. Like, a good chunk of the map would already be claimed with just one AI. If we select one new area each, or like 2 new areas each, we've basically divided the map in half at that point. And then it will be fighting over like 4 neutral territories. I imagine that won't be a very long campaign. It took me about, I'd say, 3 hours to get to my big village last time. And that village was quite a bit bigger than this. It probably had about almost 200 people in it. It had the full manor built. It had fields. It had... I had just upgraded the first burger plot. So it was a bit more advanced, you know, but I hadn't seen the next mission yet, so I can't really say about that. But it was definitely a fair bit more advanced than this. But that was just 3 hours, and I was already kind of, sniffing on the next upgrade level, and I'd built my first castle, and I've explored all of the currently available production routes. That's not a lot of time. So within maybe 6 hours, I'd probably reach the complete end of what is currently available in the demo. Now, bearing in mind, obviously, demo. Like, just the iron deposit production alone, I imagine instead of just tools, you would have specialized tools like scythes or axes. You'd have, obviously, weapons. You'd have armor. Maybe you'd have special equipment. Maybe you'd have a shield crafter. You'd have a fletcher, etc., etc., etc. There's definitely a lot of stuff that can be done. You know, it just needs to actually be done. So, to finish up and wrap up with some conclusions here, right? First and foremost, I am incredibly impressed by what this is right now. Again, a single developer made this. This is a really solid little village sim with some really great graphics and some incredibly advanced organic city building. Like, the little huts smoking, you know, And all of them look slightly different. Like, it looks like a village, goddammit. Even when somebody as boring as me is building it, which I'm super impressed by. The little people that go about their day-to-day business. And beyond that one issue I had with the lumberyard not getting lumber, I've had no issues getting people to do their jobs, you know? I've had no issues to get people to actually go and do what they need to do. The one thing is lumber and transport, but that isn't a problem of not having the AI do what needs to be done. It's simply the fact that you've got a cow that needs to do everything, and therefore it's going to be an obvious massive slowdown. Once you get more cows, everything gets a lot lot easier. I definitely need some sort of, proper ledger so I can open it up and go like, okay, how much firewood am I actually producing? Am I gaining? Am I losing? What times of year am I gaining? What times of year am I losing? How well are my guys producing it? Do I need more? Do I have less? Are there problems? Like this one, for example. He's gathering right now, and the other guy is transporting. Okay, fantastic. But let's say that one of them wasn't. Like, at some point, they just weren't doing their jobs. Why? Is there not enough wood around? Is the receptacle building full, etc.? This is the kind of information that would be very nice to have. It would also be great to have some sort of in-game encyclopedia so that I can just click on a thing to tell me what is required. And it's not hard to figure out what you need, so wild animals in the region produces meat and pelts. Okay, what do I need pelts for? It would be great to just be able to click on that building, like here, and go, what is pelt used for? It's like, okay, well, pelts is used in the tannery building, which is over here. Pelt is turned into leather. Okay, what's leather? Well, leather is turned into clothes. Okay. That makes sense. And maybe also later on armor, for example. That would be nice to have as well. Otherwise, I don't really have that much critique at the moment. The AI seems reasonable. The game could use a better tutorial, since it never really explained, for example, what unassigned families are compared to like normal families. For a while, I'm wondering, like, why do I have 15 peasant families, or like 29 peasant families with 29 men, but I only have 15 assigned families? Like, what the fuck? And then I realized, oh, you need more houses, which, makes a certain amount of sense. I'm also obviously looking forward to the warfare mode. That'll be really cool as well. And just more complexity, more stuff to build, more detail overall, but I have very high hopes for this game, and I cannot wait to play the next version of it. So if you're interested, definitely do go check out the demo and check out the game itself. I'll leave a link to the Steam page down in the description below, presuming my sick and drug-addled mind can remember to do so. Until next time, thank you very much for putting up with my nasaliness, and I hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.